Hello, this is Ryan. We're going to make the Daisy Sunseed. So first of all, I'm wearing these nitrile gloves that you'll get. These are optional just to avoid getting fingerprints on the material while you're putting them together. You'll want to have this bead ready. We have another video that shows you how to make this. This is what you'll use to hang your sunseed. So just get that ready and set it aside. So let's get started. So first of all, I'm just going to open it up. This is how the sunseeds will come. This is a 20-sided sunseed, just like the practice sunseed. So you'll get 21 pieces with this. You'll get one piece that has a hole in it. That should be on the top, so we'll take this and we'll set it aside. And then you'll get 20 other pieces, one extra. So we'll take these and we'll just set them over here. So one thing I want to point out is that these hooks here are always going to go counterclockwise. That's how you know that it's oriented in the correct direction. So when they go together, so I'll take out a second one. You'll also want to make sure that these don't get stuck together. So sometimes they can you can get two of them, and they'll be stuck together slightly. So first of all, to put the first piece in, what you want to do is take these and just hook the two hooks together. Then you rotate it into place, and you'll want to grab the sort of the piece on the bottom here and slide it through the hook of the other one. And now you have two of them that are attached. So now there's 5 that go around each flower. So we're gonna do 3 more for this one. So going counterclockwise, we just hook it underneath the last flower that the last set of petals that we put in. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. We'll put the petals through from the bottom. So now the 4th piece. So this is where it can start to get a little bit tricky, but if you just put it, if you hook around the center of of each piece and then kind of slide it in and under the last set of petals that you put in, then it should slide right in. You want to make sure that this comes below all of the petals in the piece next to it. And then you just bring it in and hook the petals from the underside, just like we did for the last 3 pieces. So now there are 4. We're going to add the 5th one. So this one comes in. At this point, you might want to start lifting from. So you might need to separate the petals. The daisy has like a lot of overlap, so you might find it easier to put your fingers and lift up the petals from this layer, and then insert this from the just on the back side of all the petals that you lifted up. So then do that. Make sure that these petals are all in the right order, so they can get sort of they have a tendency to kind of like sort in the like in the wrong order. So let's see. So then we'll just take this one and put it in from the bottom. So now we're going to complete this flower. So you can see we have five sections, and then this is the last one that we have to put together. So I'm gonna resort these, sort of bring the so the one on the left will always go underneath the one on the right when you're coming from this direction. So then I'm just gonna bring it around, and we have one completed flower section. So to build the rest of it, I'm going to start from any one of these uncompleted sort of like rosette flowers. And so I'll just do the same thing that I was doing before. So I'm going to insert from the back, then rotate around and underneath the petals here, making sure that the flower stays together. And then I'm going to take both of these petals, and I'm just going to lift them up and through. So now the next one. So this is where it might be useful to, I think I can get away without lifting on this one. So if I just insert here, bring it around, making sure that it's always on the underside of the previous petal, and rotate into place. And for the final one, so this is where it might be useful to lift the petals up with your fingers. So we're going to take them all and then place our next piece right in the center there and rotate it around. So this can be a little bit tricky to make sure that these are not petals don't get in the way of each other. Sometimes after the fact, you just have to resort some of these petals if they get if they start overlapping in the wrong order. So you'll know that they're sorted correctly if they sit flat. So each rosette should be sitting relatively flat. So you can see this one. There's one petal on here that's sort of like looks out of, it's not aligned properly. So I'll just lift that up, and now it sits flat. So we'll go in and do the final, hook in the final piece for this this flower. So I'm gonna just take the flower, and I'm just gonna put it behind, sort of bending the whole shape and lifting up the flower with my other hand, my left hand. Just set it behind all of the petals there, and then it should seat. So now we have two completed flowers here and here. And I think what I recommend is that you start with the third one that's already connected here. So I try to start with the one that has the most completed faces adjacent to it. So this one has 3 faces that are completed. and these ones only have 2, so I'm going to start with this one. So let's take the next piece. So I'm just going to put it in, slide it behind all the petals that are on top, making sure that none of the faces underneath, that it goes on top of those. Then slowly rotate it around. Just hook it underneath the petals on this one. So now for the 5th piece. So this is where I like to lift these petals out of the way. So this is easier to insert. So we'll just insert it right there. Pull it in. I'm going to take the piece on the left side and move it behind the piece on the right side. And I'm just going to put the petals through from behind. And then I'll take that, I'll do the same thing on the final vertex here for this face. Bring the petals in from behind. Okay, so now we have 3 completed flowers. So at this point, you can pretty much keep doing the same process. Just keep taking the one with the most connected faces and completing that one. At this point, there will be 3 of them that have 3 completed faces. So this one, and this one. So you can start with any one of those. Just hook it in, rotate it around, and hook the petals in from behind. So you can see this one here has 2 that are stuck together. So just make sure to get one, insert it from behind, lift the petals with your fingers, insert from behind, rotate, swap, insert from behind, swap, insert from behind. It's okay to bend these a little bit as long as they don't crease. They'll pop back to their original shape. There's another petal that is just out of alignment. You can just straighten that out. Okay, so let's start on the next one. So let's find, this one has 3 connected, so let's start with that. Hook from behind, rotate around. Now this is going to be a little bit trickier because this guy has 3 connected flowers already, so the flower is quite large. So that's okay. We can just grab all of the flower petals on and sort of hook them through, and then kind of like shove them around, making sure that they're all in the correct order. So I'm going to continue on this one that I just started. So insert from behind, grabbing the petals that need to go in front. Put it through. Looks like I've gotten some of these petals in the wrong order. So I'm just going to sort that out. So we pulled it through. Now bring it around, hook from behind. And then hook the other side from behind. Maybe lifting the petals out of the way. Oops. Make sure they're in the correct order. Okay. Alright, so now it looks like we need one more on this side. So lifting the petals out of the way, going to insert from the back, rotate around, bring it into the front, and then slot the petal in from the back. Take the final petal, flip these, slide it in from the back. Okay, so we only have one more flower remaining, so this is what the inside looks like. So we can start with any one of these flowers at this point. So I'm going to bring this around from the back. Rotate it underneath all of the petals. And bring these petals through. Can start to be a little bit cumbersome at this point. It's okay if you bend the pieces a little bit. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, so we need a fifth. So we're going to take that, insert it in the center, peel back our petals that need to go in on the top. So we insert this like so. Rotate around, bring it to the front, and hook this petal in from the back. Now this one needs to come around from the back as well, so we'll bring it underneath this flower. We'll lift up the petals here again. It's okay if you bend the pieces a little bit just to get them in there. So you want to then pull this around so that it hooks around the previous flower. Make sure everything is popped out. So these corners can kind of pop either in, so they can be popped in or out. You want them to all be out. Okay. So we have the beginnings of our final flower here, and we have 3 more pieces to go. So let's start by finishing off this flower that we started here. It has 4 faces on it. So we're gonna lift up the petals that need to go in front. Insert the flower from the back. Lift up. Reverse these 2. And slot this flower in from the back. Then we have this one. So we want to put it behind. Lift up the petals that we want to go in front. Then pull this flower and slot it in from the back. It can be a little bit tricky with these final pieces. Make sure to pop everything out to the front, and we can sort these flowers out. Okay. So now we only have 2 pieces remaining. So there's this face here and this face here. What we're gonna do is take our piece with the hole in it, and as the second to last piece, we're gonna put that in so we can put in the bead, and then we'll close it up with the final piece. So for that one, I'm going to slide this in. The hole is getting pretty small at this point, so it could be a little bit tricky. This requires some dexterity. So you want to do the same thing, lift up the petals here, slide this in, slide it around in the back. Bring this side, oops. Okay. So we'll try that again. So insert this. So it helps if you put one flower into the center of the whole shape, then bring the rest of it around. You can slide it in. So then what you want to do is rotate this around and pull the flower out of this shape. So you just put it inside. Now we're pulling it out, and we're going to insert it into this rosette here. So just pull it around until it hooks in. And the final one, we want this flower to be the flower that's going to connect to be on top. So just make sure that that's still tight. And we hold the petals out, pull slightly to bring it into place. And then we can pop the middle section out from inside. So now we have only 1 piece remaining, and we have this piece with the hole in it. So I'm not sure if that's easy to see, but you can see there's a hole there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'll take my my piece of string with the bead on it. So there's my bead. So I'm going to take the other end that doesn't have the bead on it here, and I'm going to insert it from inside of the sunseed. So I'll move the petals out of the way, and I will reach inside the sunseed and put the string through the hole. Oops. So, not sure if you can see that. So the string is now coming through the hole, and I'm just going to pull it all the way through until the bead sits in the hole like that. So now that this is seated in there, we can just let the string dangle to one side, and we can take our last piece and start inserting it. So for this one, it's not really possible to slot this inside. The hole is just too small, so we're gonna have to do it from the outside. Otherwise, it's almost the same. So we're going to just lift the petals up here that come in the front. We slot this in from the back side, like that. We rotate this around, making sure that it's underneath all of the petals in the flower that it's connecting to. And then we're going to try to take all of the petals here and bring them out in front. This gets a little bit tricky. So it helps if you rotate it around just slightly. So we're going to take all of these petals, pull them out, and make sure that this one is slotting in correctly. We can let them go. All right, so now we have two sides in, and we have our final one to go. So we lift up the petals, and for this one, you might need to bend it a little bit. So you want to just bend it and then slot it into place. And you might need to sort out these petals and just give them a little bit of a tug, making sure that they're all in the right order. So now we should have our completed daisy. Just find the place where we put in the string, and that's how it will hang.